Hey, what's up everybody? Lex here, and I wanted to kind of give you an update video because my next video that I have planned is the PS4 unboxing video, which isn't till November 15th, so that's kind of a ways out. But I wanted to kind of update you guys with what I've been doing, what I've been playing, and kind of give you something to hold you over. And I have some encouraging news at the end of this video that maybe will lead to more videos in between. But you know, we're only maybe a little over 2 weeks away from the PS4 anyway. Like I said, I'm gonna do an unboxing, but I'm also gonna do like a video where I boot up the system and go through it all and kind of show you guys what it's all about. Because I know some of you may be getting a PS4, maybe getting an Xbox One, but a lot of you are going to hold off on that, and I completely understand. Me, I just wanted to buy a console on launch day because I've never done that before. I've never purchased a console on launch day, picked it up at midnight, the whole deal. So I wanted to do that with the PS4. I'm excited about this new technology. You know, the games maybe not blowing me away, but I'm excited about the whole share process. I'm also excited about the indie lineup that is going on too. So, but I'm going to be doing that to give you guys a little look, because eventually you will be getting a system. I'm sure of that. Whether it's a year down the road, 5 years, 8 years down the road, you'll have one of these systems, a PS4 and Xbox One, eventually, and you'll want to know about it. So, I just thought I'd put that video out there and help anybody decide if they're kind of conflicted about that. So, but what I've been playing so far, last week I had a store meeting and I got really ill after the store meeting, and I kind of went on a tangent with one specific game, but I'll save that for last because I really like it and I really want to talk about it a little more. But let's get the obvious game out of the way here, a game that many of you, I'm sure, have spent many hours with. Maybe not, I don't know. I really don't know my audience, I guess, or what you guys are playing. I know a lot of my audience is into Nintendo stuff, and you know, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo stuff, but GTA 5. Picked this up, special edition, and I love it. I burned through the single player, the main story, in about 35 hours. Now I'm going back through and doing all those side missions. Plus I'm playing GTA Online, which was a nightmare to start. Boy, was it a nightmare to get on GTA Online. And we got on there finally. My crew and I are just running through everything and doing missions together and just having fun in this open world. It's great. You know, maybe it's not as good as it could be. They definitely have stuff that they can add in there, and there's stuff that they will add in for sure. Like I said, they've messed up a few times, but as far as it being fun, it's unlike anything else I've experienced. It's that GTA experience that I've wanted since forever. Basically since GTA 3 came out, I was like, wouldn't it be great if this were just open world? I could meet up with my friends and just live this virtual life. And so far, maybe it's a little bit on the mission side, you know, where it's not so much catering to kind of like a Sims deal, but more so missions with friends type of thing going on. But it's still a lot of fun. And since there's a lot of collectibles in GTA 5, I went ahead and picked up the GTA 5 limited edition strategy guide. I think this is really cool. I really don't do strategy guides usually, but like I said, there's so many collectibles in GTA 5, and yeah, there's the internet and stuff like that, but it's easier for me to have a book where I can just open it up and go to the contents, table of contents, and just look up what I need. It's got great pictures in here. I mean, you know, just really quality stuff. Let me see if I can flip it open here. But yeah, just quality stuff from this right here. Really detailed. And of course GTA is a huge game, so it's, how many pages is it? I think it's 400 and something pages. Maybe 300. There's a lot of artwork in here too. Yeah, it's over 400 pages long, so this looks cool on the shelf. It's one of the biggest games of all time, so it's, you know, I don't feel bad paying $35 for it at Best Buy, so it was really cool. But other than that, I've been playing my 3DS a lot. Like I said before, I had a store meeting last Sunday. A store meeting was all about the console launches and stuff like that. And after the meeting, I did a podcast with a friend, and I just started feeling really, really awful. Like, you know, the phlegm started to build up, and I won't go into details. Believe me, I'll spare you the details. But I got really sick, and so I was on the couch a lot, just kind of hanging out. And I thought, you know what, I'll play a little Mario and Luigi Dream Team. So I played a little bit of that, and I got a little further in that. But and Mario and Luigi Dream Team is a good game. It may even be a great game. I like it, but it is wordy. It holds your hand a lot. There's a lot of tutorials in it, and it's kind of slow to get into. And so I was just like, well, you know, I've had enough of this for now. Let's put this aside and let me try one of the games that I picked up a few months back. Now, you may remember in a video that I did a few months back, I picked up, let's see, 3 games, I think it was. Art Academy, Shin Megami Tensei 4, and Fire Emblem. And then we picked up Professor Layton games with that too. But Art Academy is a game that I love. It's, you know, it's really cool. I've done paintings and drawings that I really didn't think I'd be able to do on this game with the 3DS, but it's actually pretty decent when it comes to precision, and it teaches you. I found it taught me really well. Like, I'm not an artist per se. I've done some okay stuff in the past, but I'm not a constant artist. I have several friends that can do a lot better stuff than I can. But it's so good at teaching you the tools and the tricks that you need to, you know, make some really cool paintings. I painted Samus from Metroid, which I thought turned out pretty well. And also, I'm a huge King of the Hill fan, so I painted the guys in the alley. Not Bill. I left out Bill. I don't know why. Anyway. So Art Academy is cool. I spent like 15, 20 hours in that. And then, you know, I was deciding between Shin Megami and Fire Emblem. Like, which one should I pop in first? I consulted a friend, and he was like, yeah, probably do Fire Emblem first. It's probably going to be a little bit easier to grasp. And I have never played a Fire Emblem game in my life. And I've never played a Shin Megami game in my life. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll start with Fire Emblem, and I popped that in, I started playing, I was like, oh, yeah. I actually, I looked up a retrospective on YouTube for Fire Emblem to try to get familiar with the characters and the background and the history, and, you know, I really dug the history of it, and so I started playing through this game, and the whole concept of permadeath, which basically means you're fighting, you've got your party. In Fire Emblem, for anybody that doesn't know, which I'm sure is very few and far between, but it's a strategy RPG. You got like a grid. It's kind of like a board game. And you just move your troops over across the board. You attack, you get attacked, but you can pair up 2 different squad members, and they form relationships which increase their stats. They can get married. Supposedly they can have children, and it's just, you know, the depth on it is really good. Maybe not the most in-depth I've seen, but they make it count for sure. And I start playing it, and I'm digging the story, which I usually never dig the story on RPGs. To be quite honest with you, most of the RPGs that I play, either I don't understand the story, where they're coming from, either they're trying too hard, something gets lost in translation, and there's a few RPGs that totally go against that and have great stories. And Fire Emblem is one of them. It tells a very clear story, and it brings you along the ride. Like you'll do a section of the game, and then it'll do a 2-year gap between, and you meet up with everybody again after those 2 years to start a new quest. It's a really cool game, and I could not recommend Fire Emblem enough. I've been telling everybody who will listen, pick up Fire Emblem. I never, like I said, I never played Fire Emblem before, and I ended up enjoying the hell out of it. It's my favorite DS game that I've played so far, surpassing Adventure Time. Something finally beat Adventure Time. So that's really cool. I've been playing the hell out of that. I just surpassed 20 hours on Fire Emblem. I think I've got maybe 15 more hours to go before I complete the main story. And there's also DLC with it. I'm not sure about the DLC yet. We'll wait and see on that. But I picked up some other games too. And before I get to the games, I've actually started to delve into comic books. And I had a few recommended to me, and this one was one of them. It's called Chew. Now, I haven't actually read this yet, but the premise is this guy is a detective who can basically he has psychic abilities on anything that he eats. So he eats a piece of chicken, and he can tell where this chicken's been, which processing plant it went through, how it got to be, served to him in this restaurant. And that goes for murder victims too. So he's basically, I guess, a bit of a cannibal, but for a good cause. Very out there premise. I have not read it yet, but I am looking forward to reading that. And this is the Taster's Choice Volume 1. So it's kind of like a trade paperback of the first 12 issues, I think. So can't wait to finally get into that. But I wanted to read this first, and not very far into it. The Walking Dead, of course. It's probably pretty cliche for anyone who's trying to get into comic books to just leap to this first. But honestly, I like the show. I love the Telltale game, The Walking Dead. Not Survival Instincts, by the way. But I decided, why not read where it all began? I hear this is different, a little bit different from the TV show. That it kind of has different characters. So far from what I've read, there are different characters, and leaves some stuff out that the TV show does. And you can kind of tell that it's going in a different route. It's like being parallel, and then it starts to branch out a little bit more because it leaves out this character. And since it leaves out that character, it starts to branch out a little more. But it's still going on that same path, the same kind of destination. Anyway, Walking Dead, pretty cool stuff. Speaking of The Walking Dead, I also picked up on PS3 as a part of the Halloween sale the season pass for The Walking Dead from Telltale Games. And that was $3 for all 5 episodes. I had previously bought the first 2 episodes, and then I finished the other 3 episodes on the disc that I rented from Redbox. And so I decided, I enjoy going through this story maybe once every year. So why not just buy all the episodes? It's only $3. Regularly only $5. So if you miss a sale and want to pick that up, you could still get it for a great price. So I'm gonna go ahead and run back through that. And season 2 of that whole story is coming out, I guess, by the end of this year. At least the first chapter is. So I'm looking forward to that too. Back to the 3DS front, though. There are a couple of games that I had mentioned about I was going to pick up. I had them both on reserve. I did mention that I wasn't going to play them until I caught up with the series. I don't think I'm going to do that, but let me show you what games they are, of course. Oh, that's not one of them. Here we go. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. So, yeah, Pokemon X and Y. I've heard nothing but great stuff about Pokemon X and Y. But, like I said, I am so far out of the loop with Pokemon. My knowledge basically extends to the original 150, 151, whatever it is. And maybe a little bit into Pokemon Gold and Silver. But I don't know most of the Pokemon in here. I'm going to be quite honest with you. So it's going to be a learning experience for me. I wanted to catch up. I wanted to get all the games prior to this and at least give them each a short playthrough. But, it just proved too difficult to find these games for a decent price. It was a challenge getting Pokemon Blue, and that was basically, that and Pokemon Gold were basically the only games I found since May. So I went ahead and picked these up anyway. They're still sealed because I want to finish Fire Emblem first, and then get onto these. I don't want to be having loose ends when it comes to not beating games. So when I do pick these up and start playing them, I know I'm going to have a blast. And I'm actually trying to even get my wife into playing one of these, maybe, so we can, trade or battle or whatever. She's not too big into video games, but I think Pokemon is pretty simple to pick up and play. You do have to learn a few things, but it's all pretty much common sense. I mean, it's not a hardcore Japanese RPG or anything like that. It's just a collecting RPG. So, but again, can't wait to get into these. And then the final pickup I have is this right here. Now, I'm a big fan of Regular Show and Adventure Time and, a lot of shows on Cartoon Network now. But I'm also a big fan of Way Forward. And Way Forward's a developer that they've been releasing sleeper hits for maybe the last 5-6 years or so. And most of them are on handhelds, and I've been going back and getting the stuff that they publish or they develop. This one right here is Regular Show. Mordecai and Rigby in 8-bit land. What Way Forward does, and this is, I guess, a kind of one of the knocks on them, but not really, because I think we all enjoy these type of games, is they take old games, the formulas for old games, and they'll just recycle them and put these skins on them, and and make it, basically update them a bit. Adventure Time, Hey Ice King, Why'd You Steal Our Garbage? There we go. That game was basically a Zelda 2 clone. But it was fun. It played well and it worked. And it wasn't exactly like... Well, okay, it was pretty close to Zelda 2. But, it still had the Adventure Time humor in it, the special attacks, and, they formed it all around that engine. Well, Regular Show is basically... From what I've played so far, and I've played a few hours, maybe 2-3 hours on this, the first couple levels that I played were platforming levels, and at first it was almost ridiculously tough because the collision detection is pretty unforgiving. Basically, you have Mordecai, who is like a Luigi. He can jump higher, but he kind of floats, so if you're trying to land on something, it's tough to actually land on it. And Rigby's like the Mario, who's quicker, but he can't jump as high. He has more precision when he lands. He can get through smaller areas. And the first couple levels, the platforming levels, other than that collision detection, that hit detection, were pretty fun. The boss was pretty cool too. The bosses in this game, I've come across 2 so far, and they are really old school. They're a challenge. Doesn't tell you what to do. You just kind of have to figure it out by trial and error. The second level is more like an R-type, where, a Gradius, where you can turn Mordecai into a flying ship and kind of just, shoot at objects or enemies or whatever, and then you can morph back into his regular form to complete the platforming levels. And then there's another aspect to this, but I don't quite remember what it is, and maybe I'll do a complete review of this. But so far, it's pretty fun. $30. These games have limited runs, so if you were thinking about getting it, I probably would. I know our store my store that I work at only got 4 copies of these. I reserved mine, so I definitely got mine from here in town. I don't know how many copies they had though. So, and it's the same with Adventure Time. That I bought that for $30, the collector's edition. The value of that spiked. When I checked back in May, it was like $100 for that collector's edition. It's dropped down to like $70 now, but still, it's worth it. If you may be interested, and they're fun games. Way Forward is great. Way Forward did Batman, Brave and the Bold. They did Alien on DS. I can't recall what the little subtitle was, but that's a fun game too. It's like a Metroidvania style game. They did Adventure Time. They did this. They did the DuckTales remake. So they're putting out a lot of good retro stuff. But I think that's about it. The encouraging news that I mentioned at the beginning of this video is that I actually came across some extra cash. So now I have some money for the budget. And for the first time in months, I am going back out this weekend to the yard sales. We still got yard sales going on because it's not too cold yet. It's starting to get cold though. So I'm going to see what we have available, and I'm going to go out there and try to find something, and hopefully I'll have enough luck to put up a new Yard Sale Adventures episode, because I know there hasn't been one in a while. There's been really no reason to have one in a while. So I really hope that we can strike on some stuff. And what really kind of got me back into gear wanting to go back out was one of my friends got a deal here locally where he paid $15 for like 17 NES games, and there was like Mega Man 2 in there, and Ninja Gaiden 2, and a couple others. It wasn't too crazy, but it was definitely something where I could have made my money back and then some on just selling my doubles and keeping what I needed. So hopefully I can get some good stuff this weekend. And also, I just got an iPhone for the first time. I'm not a phone guy, so getting an iPhone for me is a pretty big deal. I love it because it's got everything that I need to do. But maybe I can get some footage, some good footage now of me out and about. No promises, but we'll definitely try. So thank you for listening to and watching this long-winded what I've been playing video. Like I said, November 15th, PS4 comes out, and we will be unboxing that thing on camera, give you a close-up and all that junk, my review of that as well, and some newer pickup videos, because I've got other games coming out. We got Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds coming out soon, and I cannot wait for that. A sequel to Link to the Past just blows my mind. 3DS is the best system right now, and if you don't have one, go get one. I don't know what you're waiting for, because the games that are out for it, ridiculous, and the games coming out for it, even more ridiculous. So thanks a lot again. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Happy Halloween.